the next author I'd like to introduce is Lori Brant. Bachelor of Psychology, Bachelor of Education, ACC Certified Life Coach, author, Master Spirit Life Coach, speaker, ordained metaphysical minister, Master of Metaphysics, life coach trainer, and mentor. Lori Brant is passionate about empowering people and supporting them as they challenge their way of thinking and how they move through the world. Lori teaches from experience, knows what works, and continually searches for new, easier ways to break down mental and emotional barriers that limit an individual's ability to feel happy. She is here to discuss her book entitled The Happiness Toolbox, Finding Happiness Regardless of Circumstances. Please welcome Lori.
Thank you so much, Spiritual Niagara, for inviting me to speak tonight. It was really interesting when I was getting ready to come and think about what I was going to talk about. I'm like, maybe I need to look at my book again. Because like all things in this journey of spirituality, you're constantly evolving and changing. And so I am not the same person I was when I was writing the book. So it was kind of like, okay, so what was my motivation to actually write the book? I guess the biggest thing for me was that, Muriel touched on it when she said, she's coming at it from one way. And if I was to say where I was coming from it, I was coming from the absolute opposite way to Muriel. So I was very much in the body. I was very much living my limitations, my challenges. Outside circumstances were completely controlling how I was moving through the world. I felt that everything was happening to me. Why me? Why is this happening to me? And it was dark. It was heavy. It was depressing. But you know what? Being the trooper that I was, I just pushed it all down and go on. And something else would happen. And it's like, really? And then I push it down and think I dealt with it, and then something else would happen. Well, you know what? Eventually, it just caught up with me. And it really got to a place where, okay, this shit isn't working. And I could think that I was, this strong person powering through and handling all these challenges, but I obviously wasn't. My life was mirroring back to me that it was so not working. And I was depressed. I was sad. I was seeing the faults in everything outside of me. And, some people call it a limit situation. Some people call it their bottom. I don't know, but I was there. And I remember, as if it was yesterday, I was lying on my bed and I had a really poofy duvet. And I remember it was like cocooning me. I was sitting on top of it and it was kind of like cocooning me. And I was just lying there and it was like a place of, okay, there's nothing left. I've got nothing left. And I just remember saying, okay, you know what, universe, I just give. I obviously what I'm doing is not working. And you just show me the way and I'll do it. And I didn't get an answer. At least I didn't think I got an answer. But I just knew that what I was doing was not working. But somehow, deep inside, I knew that an unwavering state of peace and calm existed. I didn't know where it was, but it was calling me. And it was beckoning me home. And I longed to feel it. To feel full. To feel calm and to feel peace. And so, the universe did answer me. It trickled in. It trickled in through people. It trickled in through books and workshops and classes and more books and more classes and more workshops. And it trickled in with really challenging people and a divorce and a hysterical ex-husband and children, and they all presented themselves in complete chaos during a time when I was practicing the spiritual tools. So at the time, I'm thinking, really? Really? I have to take it all on right now? Is this really necessary? And honestly, I was going moment to moment. I honestly, there were times I was like, okay, I'm going to do this minute, and I hope I get to the next minute, because it was that intense. I think at one time I had 5 lawyers. Can you imagine? I had I don't even know, I probably couldn't name them, but I had a real estate lawyer, I had a divorce lawyer, I had a small claims court lawyer, and I was like, I couldn't imagine how I was going to get through all this. Actually, I went to a psychic, and I'm thinking, oh yeah, I'm universe is supporting me, I'm doing all this. I remember the psychic saying, yeah, you're going to feel much better in 4 years. 4 years, really? But in a way, it was kind of a gift, because there's an impatience that comes, right? When you're thinking, yeah, I'm learning all this. This is all, I'm going to feel better. I'm just going to rise up to this happy place. So in a nutshell, the motivation for the book is that I read the books. I did all that, and lots of people were telling me what to do, but they didn't tell me how to do it. Because it's one thing to be all happy and positive and repeat your positive affirmations when things are going well, but it's another when things aren't going well, like when you get diagnosed with cancer or a disease or a divorce or death or whatever. And I remember like lining up to Greg Braden, and I remember like asking him like, so, how do you do that? And I remember him looking at me. He didn't have an answer. And I'm like, what? How could that be? And I thought, you know what? I keep looking at these people to tell me how to do it. I just got to step up and do this. So I did. And I just said, you know what? I'm going to fiercely go inward to find my inner happiness, just as fiercely as I had gone out trying to find it everywhere else. And that's what I did. So the book is really my journey. So I share my childhood, because I really found that my limiting beliefs that I learned through my childhood and into adulthood had a huge impact on my perception of what was happening in the present day. I try to demonstrate through my story so you can see in your own life how maybe you have some limiting beliefs that are shaping your perception. Then I shared with you some of the tools that I used, and also used real life examples of how I used them during stressful times. And lastly, I provided some exercises that you could perhaps use to try to tap into what's holding you back from experiencing a natural state of peace and calm. And I'd like to quickly share a really interesting story. So I have, in my book, I talk about it, but I had this huge limiting belief that I need to be taken care of. And it chased me for years, man, and I worked on that. Talk about an onion, man. I had the biggest damn onion on that one. And I worked on it. So anyway, this is so funny. So anyway, I was dating, and the complaint by the person that was dating me was like, you don't need me. It's like there's no room in your life, because I didn't need anything from them. I was like, yes. Because, I found that when I stopped trying to get things outside of me, and I was able to experience this natural state of peace and calm that we all are, then I don't need anything out here. I just get to love you just the way you are. Man, that is amazing. So, what I'd like to share, if I may, sorry, I'm going to have to, that's probably not very... I don't know your pockets.
That's between friends, so it's okay.
Okay, all right. Oh, sorry for my loud laugh. I don't need a mic for that. Oh my gosh. Okay, so the premise of this is, you know when people say, okay, you have a negative thought, turn it into a positive thought, yada, yada, yada. But I always found that there was way more to that. And changing it to the positive thought, for me, is really helpful and in the beginning. So I don't know about you if you've ever experienced this, but I had this train wreck of thinking that would just like, and it never stopped. And I literally would go to bed and I would wake up and I'd still be thinking it. It's like, really? Like it would never let me go. And I figured the first step is I had to stop that train. I had to at least get it off the track for a bit or put it at stop or something. So I use positive affirmations, but through the use of a mantra to interrupt that crazy thinking, okay? So I did that, I practiced doing that, and but I'd like to share a few examples of how I did it when my life was really, it was not very pleasant. So I had an ex-husband who was basically put me in a position where I had to, he didn't put me in anything, sorry, let me reword this. He was very scared, and he was trying to get me to do what he thought he needed. Let's just put it that way. And I tried to use the spiritual principles and stay in an aligned space, and this is how I did it. Sorry. We've all heard of positive affirmations, which are basically positive thoughts. And we need to create a new habit, and like other habits, it requires diligence, patience, practice, and more practice to solidify it as a new behavior. To form a habit, a behavior must be carried out repeatedly in the presence of the same contextual cues. So this is why I think it's so important to practice this stuff when the shit hits the fan. I invite you to change the negative thought into a positive thought and write it down. And some examples of turning a negative thought into a positive thought might include, like, I don't have enough money, I have enough money. I get that this can seem untruthful, as if you're making it up and you're lying, but this is a necessity, and it's a necessary starting point to change the negative stream of thoughts you may be having to positive ones. Think of negative thoughts like water erosion to the foundation of a house. It wears away at the structure, slowly but powerfully until it creates a crack, and then another crack. Creating a new habit of positive thinking keeps your foundation strong and impenetrable from outside circumstances. Now here's an example. One time, I returned home to find the pathway to the stairs blocked by his car, and he had placed bicycles in between the wall and the car. I felt my tears forming, not believing that he would do this, knowing I physically needed to use the stair lift beyond the obstructions. Everything is so hard, I was thinking. I don't know if I can take any more of this. I want him to stop bothering me. But I stopped. I caught myself thinking negatively, if I'm supposed to get to the door this way, I will be able to clear a path. If not, then I was not supposed to get through. That connected me. It brought presence to the moment. Rather than playing out the story of how he had blocked my way to be mean, I brought presence to the moment by finding the facts. The facts were, the way was blocked. I scanned the carnage, calculated a strategy to see me through it, and feeling it was doable, I proceeded and gained entry. Confidence and power surged. On another occasion, he was following me, inches from my face, yelling at me, "You're selfish. All you care about is yourself. You don't care about the kids or anything. You're a terrible mother. You only care about money. It's all about you. It's always all about you." I did not respond, but observed my reactions physically, emotionally, and mentally. Leave me alone, I thought. Stop hurting me. I don't know how much more I could take. I'm breaking. I wish I could run away. And he kept at it. I was at his mercy because I walked so slowly. I tried standing in front of the TV with the volume turned high to drown him out, and then turned on the blow dryer, pretending to dry my hair as he berated me over and over again, inches from my face. I stopped. And I brought attention to my negative thoughts. I began chanting silently in my head, I am a powerful being. This is in my best interest. I do not know why this is happening, but trust in the universe. I am strong, capable, and powerful beyond measure. I look forward to what the universe has in store for me. I trust that everything is for me and supports my forward movement. He does not know who he is. He does not feel the loving presence inside him. That is why he acts this way. He is a loving being that is hidden by his limiting beliefs. I am a loving being. The mantra played over and over again while he spoke. I could hear his voice, but stopped listening to what he was saying, hearing only my mantra and feeling the connection and presence of Source. I was loving me and trusting the universe to support me through it, and it did. My partner drifted away, and the challenge passed. So in a nutshell, what I tried to do is I tried to take the spiritual principles, put them into action, demonstrate how you can do it when you're in a really stressful situation, and then provide some exercise to practice. And if I may add, my most recent venture is really about taking the essence of this book and putting it into a 3-day conference in Ridgeway, Ontario, where it's very hands-on, where people can practice doing that. Because, you know, it's one thing to read about all this stuff, but it's another to put it into practice. Because when we do make it our full-time job to go inward, it really is the place where we are meant to experience the lives that we have. And anyway, it was my baby. However, it's interesting when I think about the happiness toolbox. Even now, I think, well, even the title is kind of saying the toolbox is outside of you. I probably wouldn't use that title now because you really have everything you need within you. It's just really learning to tap in and use them. So thank you.
Thank you.